friends, let's get started. So we're going to use the properties of addition, two of them, to help us work through another problem. The first property we're going to look at is the commutative property, where we can add two or more numbers in any order to get the same sum. So if I wanted to order or solve 1 1/3 plus 2 plus 3 2/3, I can reorder this in a way that makes more sense to me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reorder this as 1 1/3 plus, my parentheses, 3 2/3 plus 2. All right, so I've rewritten that. Now you might be thinking to yourself, why did we change the order of the 2 and the 3 2/3? Well, the order changed so that the mixed numbers whose fraction parts add to 1 are next to each other. So the 1/3 and the 2/3. Now I can easily mentally add all of this together. Let's use the associative property of addition to help us finish. This means that I can group add-ins in different ways and still get the same sum. This is also called the grouping property. We're going to use the associative property in our problem over here to help us group numbers differently so then we can solve using our mental math. We discussed in the commutative property how by rearranging them, we are able to group the fractional pieces together that make a whole, which we know is easier to solve mentally. So now let's add those together and change our grouping. All right, so now let's change our grouping. We're going to, just like we discussed, add the 1 1/3 with the 3 2/3. And we know we can do this because of the associative property. All right, let's get started. So I'm going to use what I have here as well as my mental math. I'm rewriting my answers down so we can follow along. And sometimes you'll be asked to do that even though we know you can do it all in your head. Let's start by adding our fractional pieces. Okay, got your math brain ready? Awesome. 1/3 plus 2/3 is 1 or a whole. Good thinking. Okay, let's write that. All right, got our parentheses. Now let's add our whole numbers. 1 plus 3 is, you got it, 4. And then we can't forget about adding our 2. Okay, now according to order of operations, we know we need to add our 1 plus 4 and we get 5. Awesome. And 5 plus 2 will give us a sum of 7. Great thinking. Today we were able to use the commutative property of addition to order numbers in a way that would make it easier for us to use mental math. Then we used the associative property of addition so we could group add-ins in different ways, which also helped us to solve our adding of fractions mentally. Great job, mathematicians.